the market is looking very interesting in the investing world. What I mean by that is prices and pockets of the market are very appealing looking for an investment property. So in this world, investment properties generally work really well for potential first-time home buyers, or maybe you're thinking about investing in a home for your son or daughter. We're always thinking about saving money for kids' college, helping them get ahead in life. Why not help them get ahead in life by helping them buy their first home? This could be a huge game changer for them. So today I'm going to talk about 4 areas of the market that I think are very interesting when it comes to that first-time home buyer, maybe buying your first investment property, or potentially buying a home for your son or daughter. So the first area of the market, there's 2 areas on 2 extremes of the map. So area 1, Highlands Ranch, area 2, Thornton, Broomfield. Now in the Highlands Ranch neighborhood, if you can find a property, a single family home, 640, ideally 635 or less, with a basement, finished, unfinished, it doesn't matter. I think that is going to be a solid investment. The numbers line up pretty well, and the future appreciation is going to be great because it's one of the entry points in such a desirable neighborhood. On the other, just north of there in the Thornton, Broomfield areas, if you can find a single family home in those areas, ideally 600,000 or less in a decent neighborhood, I think that is a super solid investment. The cash flow numbers get pretty close to what you're looking for. Cash flow is kind of a challenge right now with interest rates, but a lot of my clients are putting a little bit more money down to either break even or have a small cash flow. But if you're buying in these markets, I think future appreciation is going to be huge in these markets. Another area of town I would like to talk about is, I call it like the house hacks. The house hacks I think are great. The numbers line up quite well if you're looking to cash flow a property. These are typical areas that I find just on the outskirts of like that, fun, hip and cool neighborhoods in Denver, like East Park Hill, or that Wheat Ridge area or Lakewood. If you can get into those neighborhoods, you're gonna find it's much easier to cash flow over there, or do a house hack where you're renting out the basement. Another area of the market that I think is very interesting to me are all the homes, single family homes, around the Denver metro area, 450 or less. That's right. I'm seeing some incredible deals in this market. And the reason for that is there's not a lot of first-time home buyers in the market right now because of these interest rates. So I think there's gonna be a huge opportunity in these neighborhoods, the neighborhoods like Villa Park, Barnum, Berkeley, pockets of Lakewood actually have this as well. So definitely look at that market. And then the 4th area I wanna talk about is multifamily. There's not a lot of investors in multifamily right now, which is, I think, a huge opportunity to get into the market. One thing I love about multifamily, especially with a 4-plex. 4-plexes, I think, are completely undervalued right now, and it makes sense. There's not a lot of people looking for them. Interest rates are making it a challenge to get the numbers that most investors are looking for, and what's creating is prices are coming down. So you take a first-time home buyer, they can buy a 4-plex, use an FHA loan, putting 3.5% down. They can rent out the other 3 units and live very cheap and potentially live rent-free. As they update each unit, ideally add a washer and dryer per unit, you're gonna make a huge impact on your rental and your cash flow. 5 or 10 years from now, that's gonna be a super solid investment. So if you've got more questions about thinking about investing in the market or more real estate questions, please give me a call.